The talks I do generally aren't going to be about the content that you're seeing. It's more just there as a, I don't know, just something pleasant for your eyes to look at, as opposed to just listening to my semi-boring voice. So yeah, hopefully it keeps you a little bit more engaged. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't know what I was going to talk about today. I didn't really have much of a plan, but I guess what I can talk about is stuff I've been listening to this morning. So at work, I started listening to a podcast. I can't remember the guy's name. That's really bad, isn't it? But he was recommended to me by a friend, and so I watched it. And it was about like how technology and social media in specific is kind of like a drug. And I obviously spoke about this not that long ago in one of these talks, where I mentioned how I want to reduce the amount of usage I have on social media and stuff, mainly because I'm like so much more aware now of the effects that it has on my mental state, and it's just toxic. And this podcast I listened to this morning basically just tied everything together for me. And it's made me realize I need to, well, since the start of the year, I've been like slowly doing little subtle things to minimize my screen usage and use of technology. Doing this now that's the first example, just me talking to my little microphone on the way to the gym. Before, I was literally just like blasting my ears with fucking rap music to get me amped up. But I kind of realized it didn't really make any difference to my lifts whatsoever. And I kind of just realized as a whole in general, I've been just over consuming. And the sad part is, it's all by design. The way these algorithms work, the way these big Silicon Valley tech companies design their products from the ground up is for attention, to keep you on their platforms as long as possible, because that's how they make money. Money always talks. Shareholders always talk. So just fundamentally, these apps are designed to be, well, they're probably not designed with toxic mentality behind them. It's just a consequence of them. And the lady in this podcast described it as a drug, and her definition of a drug was something that can be ingested and has reasonable cause to form an addiction. Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, that's not exactly the word she used. And the reason I resonate with it so closely is because I agreed straight away. Because they're the things that I've been feeling, but describing it as a drug, something you can have an addiction to, it just really put it into perspective. And that's why I like listening to podcasts and I like listening to other people speak, and it's also why I should probably start reading, because hearing other people's perspectives, and it's really helped me like understand and put into words what it is I'm trying to say, because I feel like there's a lot going on in my head and there's a lot I'm trying to say, but I don't always know how to say it. I don't always know how to phrase it. And listening to people who are 10 times smarter than me say these sorts of things, and you know, people I look up to are saying these sorts of things, and I get it straight away. And that's when I know, like, you get that little clicking sensation in your head, and it just makes sense. So, as like I don't know what it is. In reaction to what it was I listened to earlier, I've decided I'm gonna like slowly dial back the amount I listen to my phone at work. So the one little change I've already made kind of at the end of last year, beginning of this year, was using my phone, listening to music, listening to podcasts, and it was the turning point was when I was listening to like YouTube videos on my bike on the way to the gym, and it just made me feel so like disconnected from the world. And the way you use a drug, let's just say like, I don't know, weed, marijuana usage, you almost use it as a way to like get a slight disconnect from the world. Or let's use a better example. Weed doesn't really make you feel too disconnected. Oh, I just went through a massive pothole. Alcohol, literally the most normalized drug in the world. Everyone pretty much uses it. Most people use it. In some countries, like kids even use it. That's a whole nother fucking topic. That's fucked up. Anyway, it's a way to like disconnect yourself from the world and like ease the situation. It's a drug. And the same, I was using YouTube and listening to stuff on the way to the gym on my bike as a way to disconnect. And I mean, I like cycling, but I mean, when you're cycling 40 minutes every day to and from the gym, like, it is a lot. It's quite a lot. Most people can't do what I'm doing. And I think I was getting to a point where I couldn't do what I was doing, so I was finding ways to like distract myself. And that was just listening to pure shite on YouTube. But I'm glad I realized that. And yeah, so now I do this on the way to the gym. I don't have any headphones in, I literally just talk. And I feel like already I've got so much better at just talking, just speaking. And I feel like I've just got better already, like even in the first couple of weeks of doing this, I got so much better at just speaking my mind and saying what I'm thinking. And that's only gonna get better, hopefully. And then on the way back to the gym, there's puddles everywhere, sorry. I'm kind of like swerving all over the place. Yeah, on the way back from the gym, I'm not even listening to music. I'm literally just cycling and taking it all in. Listening to the birds in the trees and the wind whipping through the bushes as I cycle past, my wheels on the tarmac, and as much of a noise pollutant they are, I'm listening to the cars as they whiz past me. And it really has helped. Like, I feel so much more connected to the world. And it almost sounds like cliche at this point to say something like that, because I feel like many people are chasing this feeling of being connected to the earth and really just living in the moment and not like plugging yourself into a device and just like letting go, using it as a drug. Would I say I'm addicted to my phone? Yeah, I think most people are probably addicted to their phones, whether they realize it or not. And I think if you, I don't know where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, anyway. And so going forward at work, like back in the summer just gone, well, I say just gone, it was like 6 months ago. It's January right now. I bought a pair of like Sony noise cancellation headphones. They're fucking great, so good. And like while I'm using machines and stuff at work, I'm still going to use them because they probably actually protect my ears a little bit with the sound cancellation, which is great. And I feel like I've used the living shit out of them. Like all the time, I'm just constantly plugged into them at work. And I think I have noticed like it has taken its hit on me. At least I think it has. And so going forward into the next couple of weeks, I'm going to limit myself to only a couple hours, maybe 3 hours of usage just to start with, and then we can dial it back. 3 hours listening to music and like only listening to educational shit, like no fucking brain rot crap. So I'm just talking, listening to podcasts and stuff like that, because I think that's the way to go, that's the way to learn. My microphone's sort of slipped down my top, so if the sound quality on this one's not great, I do apologise. Yeah, just all about trying to reduce my usage. And it's interesting because back in 2024, when I had my, like beginning of 2024, when I had my emotional blip, let's call it, my period of toughness, I started writing a lot. And one of the chapters, or one of the topics I wrote about, was titled "Look Out the Window." And I think I'm going to read that tonight, because I remember talking about like the effects of this and the effects of technology and stuff, and my message was basically that: just look out the window. Go, at a minimum, look out the window. Stop looking at the damn phone. Yeah, that's the premise of it all. So hopefully over the next few weeks I noticed like changes in my mood, and obviously like my meditative state is also improving. And I've kind of noticed myself, I am much calmer during the day. It's really quite refreshing. After doing that morning meditation, I feel like I'm so much more aware of how I'm feeling. And that's cool, because I've only really been meditating for a few weeks now, and if I already feel this great, then I feel like it can only really get better. And it's just nice to have all these constants in my life, like meditation and the gym and all that good shit. So yeah, I'm just kind of going through like the basic stuff of meditation still. Like I've not really delved into anything too sophisticated or complicated. But I've noticed, like, even when I'm stressed, like I feel like I've always kind of had this. I have like such a flat level of baseline calmness that whenever like my mood changes, I notice it a lot, and I'm very aware of it. So like earlier I can't remember what it was I did. I just got a little bit wound up by something, but I was so aware of it, I was able to like stop myself, think about it and go, actually this isn't really as deep as I think it is. I did a little bit of breath work for just a couple minutes, just to like bring myself back to that state of calm. And yeah, I felt so much better after it. And I feel like not even that long ago, something like that would have happened, and you know, that would have been like my day ruined. But not anymore. So that's a nice little bit of progress. And I'm so happy that I'm seeing that sort of progress already. My friend is big into meditation, and he's did a talk this morning that I listened to where he spoke about a very specific type of meditation where he has like, he focuses on a pinpoint in his chest, and he lets a focal point of light like almost take over his body, and he sees himself as light, and that makes him feel light, takes away his stress, almost like a mental relief. So that's something I want to try. But I don't think I'm at that stage yet. But I will definitely be getting to that stage, because the things he talks about sound great and I want a bit of that. My brakes are so squeaky. It's like the first time I've used my brakes in 20 minutes of talking. Yeah, I want a piece of that. I want to get to that level of mental clarity. But anyway, we're almost there. Yeah, that felt good. We're on a good path. I hope you enjoyed the footage you're seeing, and I hope you come back and listen to the next one. Thanks for coming, mate. See you later.